Hello, welcome to Black Economics TV. We have with us today
John Pastor,
all the way from Australia. Oh my goodness. And you are 9 hours ahead of us, so we had to synchronize the time very carefully. It's his evening and my morning today. So welcome, John. How are you?
I'm excellent, Dawn. And yourself?
I'm very well, thank you. Okay, so let's find out a bit about John. John has a business which helps you to incentivize sales. He says supercharge your profits with versatile marketing incentives. He's a Sydney adventure guru, so if you ever plan to go to Australia, you've got to hook up with John. He will show you all the best spots at the least prices. He's also an international speaker, and he does team building and networking, and he can reward you with complimentary holidays. And he, in fact, encourages businesses to do as he does, offer complimentary holidays if people do business with you. That sounds really interesting, John. So, John, over to you. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I've been on a mission for quite some decades, not years, but decades, to stop businesses from discounting and start value adding. The history of discounting originally started with having excess stock or last year's fashions, and you had to clear space on your shop floor to be able to bring in the new stock. However, today, it almost seems like every hour or every 5 minutes, someone is offering a discount to somebody. And that is, sadly, what people think is marketing. And marketing is about differentiating yourself, not by having a race to the bottom.
That's very interesting. So what do you offer instead then?
Well, the simple process is that if you can stand out like McDonald's with a Happy Meal toy, that in 50 years, it's an $80 billion sales explosion. And everyone knows that a child badgers their mother and father to go to McDonald's and order a Happy Meal. Why? Is because they get that bonus called a toy. I've now supercharged that to an adult situation and saying, well, adults don't want toys, but they do want a holiday. So to differentiate yourself for your product or service is adding a holiday so that you can be different to the market.
Yeah. And where were these holidays to?
I have the ability to share 130 destinations around the world.
Wow.
And it's for 3-night, 5-night, 7-night stays. The only condition is that you need to be able to get to the destination by your own means. I don't include airfares. I don't include transfers. I don't include the meals and the drinks, but I do include the accommodation.
Okay, so it's free accommodation. Can you mention some highlights of destinations people can go to?
Well, probably the biggest destination is Sydney, of course, in Australia. However, in the United States, it's Las Vegas is the number one destination that people want to go to. 3 nights in Vegas. It's $1,000 value, and all you've got to do is get there, and you can have a memorable time. Now, I always work on the basis that if I get a discount, how often do I recall a discount? But I can tell you now, if I have a memorable time and I've taken photos of being in Las Vegas, that's what I'm going to remember. And I'll be sharing that with a lot of people to say, oh, look, I bought your product. You've got to go back and buy their product because they give you a holiday to Las Vegas. Why wouldn't you want that?
Yeah, okay. Well, that sounds good. That sounds good. So how long have you been promoting these free holidays, John?
I discovered them back at the turn of the century, where we had a bank that said, switch your home loan to our bank and we will give you a holiday. Now, I knew that the
Oh,
bank was not paying for it. The campaign ran for 2 years. They successfully refinanced $8 billion, that's with a B, billion dollars worth of loans. And the fun thing is that it was so successful that they've never done it again, nor has any of their Australian banks tried to do it themselves. And yet it works like a treat.
wow. That is
So I
amazing.
so I embarked upon trying to find the source of these holidays. Now,
Yes.
some of them I found that, okay, they'll give you a holiday providing you sit through a timeshare presentation. There is no timeshare presentations with my holidays. Then
Yeah.
others would sort of say, well, you can stay at our resort as long as you have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Well, that's not much of a holiday. If you have to eat at the resort, you don't get to mix with the people. So that's
Mm,
not a condition of ours either. Uh,
okay.
the only thing the only additional minor cost is a small booking fee per night to activate the holiday. And you have
Okay.
18 months to use it. So we send you the holiday, you've got 30 days to activate it, and then you've got 18 months to take advantage of it and use it. It's usually for couples. Sometimes
Mm.
the rooms will allow children under the age of 12 to share the room with mum and dad, but it's predominantly a couple's getaway.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Oh, well, thank you for sharing that with us, and we will definitely get the message out. We'll put a link at the bottom where people can take advantage of this. We'll put a link at the bottom of the description. So,
Okay.
tell us about your own early life education and entrepreneurship, because I think I saw on LinkedIn that there's quite a bit that you used to do when you were younger in order to make money. So you've been at this a while. Tell us.
Well, in high school, I was given an opportunity to raise some money for our local hospital. I organised, I hired a train from the state government. We put 500 of our friends on the train. We went down to travelled for 3 hours to a beach south of Sydney, and we raised we after paying for all of the damage to the train. Children will, boys and
Uh,
girls will be boys and girls. We
oh,
ended up with a $3,000 profit, which we promptly donated to the hospital. That
oh,
was one
wow.
of my earliest entrepreneurial schemes. The other one was is that it was the start of rock and roll and local bands and dances. So I would hire a hall. Our school did not have a hall, so I had to go around to other high schools, find a hall, hire it. I would then book 2 or 3 bands, have 300 or 400 children come along and dance and listen to the music. I needed bouncers, so I paid my high school teachers in slabs of beer, which was a slab of beer is like 2 dozen bottles of beer,
Well,
and we would
surely
have
not.
a. I I didn't buy them. Yes, I was 16. I mean, I wasn't allowed to drink until I was 18, but I knew a way of being able to buy these beer to have the high school teachers as my bouncers.
Oh,
And we would turn
okay.
a profit and then reset and repeat, rinse and repeat, and it worked time and time again.
Oh,
Then I
wow.
moved on, and then I ended up at university. I was pretty much the entrepreneur there as well, in that my first job that I had, I convinced my employers to give me a full-time cadetship on full pay to attend the final year of my university studies. I
Oh,
was the first
wow.
person in the country to do that, and I believe that no one else has ever been able to achieve that on their own.
Okay. So you got
And
a
then,
knack for convincing people.
yeah, I ended up becoming an accountant to appease my parents. However, my passion was sales and marketing, and I ended up doing a marketing certificate course. I topped the class because, again, you come up with different ideas. I hold a world sales record for the most number of retailers on the central coast of New South Wales to come under the one roof to hear a speaker speak about marketing.
Wow. Well
I
done.
then I then worked with a boating company. I changed their name to the Boss in Boating, BOSS, and that stood for Boating One Stop Shop. And they were telling me that they made most of their money at the annual Sydney Boat Show. And I said, well, when do you make the rest of the money? Oh, we just break even for the other 11 months of the year. I said, well, why don't you run your own boat show up in Newcastle? So we put together 15 goldfish in a bowl with a proposal to the radio stations, the television stations, that someone would run the newsworthy event. And we had one TV station gave us 5 minutes at the end of the news to say that, and this weekend, the Boss in Boating is going to have their own boat show. In the month of January, it's up in Raymond Terrace, and people were travelling from Sydney with their old boats, trading it in, and coming home with a new boat. It was one of the most
Wow.
successful campaigns that they ever ran because, although they did end up with a lot of second-hand boats.
Okay, okay. Wow. That's very interesting. Okay. So you've got some valuable knowledge and experience. How are you sharing this? Have you put your knowledge into a book or presentation of some type or course?
Well, my principal area that I'm promoting myself is in LinkedIn as a B2B platform. Working with businesses to actually understand the importance of getting paid,
Yes.
living within your financial means, and using other people's money. It was something that
Okay.
I discovered that the truly wealthy businesses knew how to manage their money and understood that a sale is not a sale until they had cash in the bank. So
Exactly.
an invoice wasn't a sale, a promise to pay wasn't a sale, a check in your hand, when in those days we used to have checks, that wasn't a sale. It was only when that money converted into cash in the bank.
Okay. Understood. Understood. Okay. Thank you so much, John. It's been a pleasure talking with you, and we will keep in touch.
Okay, look
All right.
forward to it.
Thank you. You take care.